Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of the Peralta's Played podcast. You're probably thinking you've seen a Peralta's Played video before discussing the games that I played the month prior. You have, but we're expanding the concept a little bit. It's becoming a little bit of a podcast. We're going to discuss the games that we've played. We're going to have a look at them, look at the streams that I did, kind of have a little feel of what we've played within the month still. But we're also going to discuss topics of the month, things that have kind of happened this month in the gaming sphere, and weigh in on them, essentially. So this is going to be kind of more than just your checking what's happening with me, but checking what's happening with gaming at the same time, in a sense. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. Hopefully it works out. We're going to try it for a few weeks, see if you guys, a few months, sorry, but see if you guys like it, and we'll go from there. Of course, with this, it means that the format is more live. There's going to be flubs, there's going to be things going wrong, which is fun in a way, and also it sometimes just allows me to take the pressure off, because I try so hard when I'm recording, just for recording's sake, to get it perfect. This allows me to just be me, and also it means that the time I will put into recording, I can put into actually making the content here with you guys. We can discuss more things, we can do the actual video. So we're going to get into it. I'm very excited about it. We'll see how it goes. So welcome in for episode 1 of Peralta's Played, the podcast. So first off, as usual, we will go through our usual kind of schedule. Is that the right word? Probably not. And by that, I mean we're going to be looking at the games that I've played this month for the first time. And that is God of War Ragnarok, Blueprints, Drop Duchy, Prince of Persia, and South of Midnight. South of Midnight and Clair Obscur are also the games I've finished this month, which I'm really happy about. I very rarely finish two games in a month, but we did that. We did it. So we'll have a little bit more of a discussion of those two, especially because obviously we've gone a little bit more, we've gone a little bit more in depth. And Lynch is doing a joke that they did before we started recording. Oh, it sounds like Blueprints. I get it now. Which you can see on the top of the screen there. Thanks, Lynch. But yeah, so we're going to go through and we're going to look at this a little bit in depth, and then with those two games especially look a little bit harder because we have finished them. So first on the list we have God of War Ragnarok. So let's jump down to that, and we've just got to chat trying to sell me views, of course. That's great. I hate that comes up on stream. We're going to have to sort that out at some point. Anyway, that's a blip. Told you the flubs were going to happen. God of War Ragnarok. So, and we're getting an advert for Lidl first. Sorry, guys. Getting an advert for Lidl first. Oh, we're getting an advert for Zaflora as well. This is what I get. I don't want to use my personal YouTube account because it's just going to look. That's personal. But then if I use the normal, I get ads. Anyway. So, God of War Ragnarok. I have played all of the God of War games up to this point. I went through a big phase. I don't know. I think it was the beginning of last year. So, like end of 2023 into the beginning of 2024. I did all of the games. I went through all the Greek God of Wars, and then I went through the. I played God of War 2018, and then I wanted to play this. Also, why does the video look so horrendous? Why are you autoing at 360? What are you doing? There we go. There's me. There's my glorious mug. So I've been to them all. I loved every single one for their own reasons. They're all very different, but they're all very fun and interesting games. And I wanted to get back to Ragnarok, but I wanted to take a break. Those first games, not so bad. What am I doing on this? What am I doing? Do you see that? I was like, the first few games I really felt went quite quickly. Those initial God of War 1, 2, and 3, and then the one where it's like the prequel, those went quite quickly. So that I wasn't didn't struggle with. But then that on top of God of War, which was a big game, obviously meant that I needed a break. So I did take that break, and obviously we've come back to Ragnarok now, a few years later. Not late enough to be on late to the party, but late enough that I'm a little bit behind. And I have to say, I'm very excited to continue playing this. I've only played one episode so far. I've only done about 2 hours so far, 2 hours 30, something like that. And I really enjoy Kratos as a character. I really enjoyed what they did in the first Norse game, So I'm interested to see where they go with it. What I will say is that there's a lot of just people don't like this one as much. I know that. I've heard that. So I'm interested to see where we kind of go with that. Whether I kind of agree or not. The thing that is frustrating me, and new series a little bit behind. That's a good idea, Lynch. Just so when I'm only 2 years behind, just slightly late, not too late to the party, fashionably late to the party. Oh my gosh, that's what I could call it. If I'm ever doing a game that's before the 5 years, fashionably late to the party. Brilliant. That's perfect stuff. But yeah, so one thing I've heard from this game, and I think Lynch will agree, because I know, Lynch, you've played this, right? You said that you really hated how much the characters in the game try and tell you what to do. And don't get me wrong, I don't think a game should ever just leave you to your own devices to the extent that you just really get lost in it, like too lost. But I think this game goes too far in the opposite direction, and it's telling you every single puzzle, like Atreus just does not shut up. It's like, oh, we should try this. Oh, we should try that. And it's like, let me just have a little moment with this. Let me have a little moment trying to work out what's going on. So that's one thing I will say I didn't love already in this game. Needs a second to turn it off. Other games do that. Yeah, exactly. I actually found it in Indiana Jones the other day. I was like, Gina, who's like your companion, she's like telling you what to do all the way through. And I'm like, Gina, shut up. Please, be quiet. Zip it. So yeah, I do think that's one thing that the game could do with. I would like a little bit less hand-holding. I'd like to have it. Do you know what was nice in a game years ago? You'd go to a character and ask for a hint. Do you want a hint? Like, I don't want a hint. Don't give me a hint if I haven't asked for a hint. Anyway, one thing I'll say is that I really like the characters in this game. So I'm really interested to see where they take Freya in this. Now, she's obviously very different to in Norse mythology. They've kind of mixed her with what's her name, Frigga, in this. So I'm interested to see where that goes, and also mixed her a little bit with the Valkyries. So they've kind of amalgamated her character, but I'm interested to see how that plays out. Odin and Thor, of course, are prominent in this game as well, so that'll be interesting to see a bit of as well. And of course, Faye is in this game as well. There's a little bit of a return to Kratos' past early in this, not to the Greek times, but to when she and him are kind of making a life together. So I'm interested to see more of that. And yeah, the combat was fun. I don't have much to say about it currently. Oh, there we go. We're having an ad for Splitgate 2 now. There you go. Yeah, I think the combat was fun enough for the time being. I'll see how that kind of pans out as well. I didn't feel like it was too much of a disjointedness from God of War. I felt like it kind of kept it up in a way that felt like, you've still got your weapons from the last game, etc. Yeah, you maybe aren't super as strong as last time, but it's... Oh, I've died here. Oh, embarrassing. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I am enjoying it. Oh, there's a clip of me. This is Inception now. This is Inception. Clipception. Right. So that is, for me, God of War. I think there's a lot there for me to enjoy, even if other people maybe didn't enjoy it as much. And yeah, I'll get back to that shortly, definitely. So if you want to see more of that, definitely keep an eye out for that. Next up, Blueprints. Now, I know Lynch also has opinions on this one, and we'll get to that. Blueprints. Essentially, this is a roguelike game where you go around through rooms, you pick rooms based on 3 options, like this, and you are trying to get to the end, essentially. You're trying to get to the 43rd room or something like that. 53rd? Something like that. And the idea is that you're trying to inherit your uncle's estate by finding this last room, and to do so, you only are able to stay in the house through the daytime. You're not allowed to stay overnight, so you have to start fresh, but the rooms rearrange. That's kind of the concept, right? So I genuinely thought for a second there, how is my background looking exactly like the game? And then obviously I realized because it's wood everywhere. RNG simulator, just buy dice. It's just as much fun. See, Lynch is already weighing in here. So this is one thing that of course is true, because really you can't do anything about whatever shows up here. So eventually or not, you will get stuck. And that was true for me during a number of pieces of this run through. I just kind of like there's one part, I don't know where it is in the video, but there's one part where essentially I got 3 rooms that were dead ends for the at the beginning. So one of my paths was cut off, then the same thing happened again. And so I was basically like, one of the days was just devoted to like 3 rooms because I couldn't get any further. So I get what Lynch is saying. Definitely true that it is a bit RNG. You can't really game the system. You can't really force things through. But I will say that I enjoyed it. I think it's an interesting concept. I think it's a nice to have a game that isn't especially combat-y. There's no combat to speak of. It's all mystery, and you do start to learn a story through it as well. It doesn't like narrate a story really, apart from the beginning cutscene. But you go through and you find different rooms, and you kind of start to learn the secrets of the estate. So I did like it in that way. Is this a game I play loads of? I think I was starting to get I played twice, and I think I was starting to get a little bit sick of it. I think that's because it is that thing of oh well, do I know with another type of roguelite like Hades, you can build, and I know it's a very different game, but it's the one that always comes to mind. You can build out a kit and you can know what you're going up against, and you can kind of work a way around that, right? Here you can't really work it out. One thing I will say, and it was a point where I went outside. Oh, it's right here. There's a point where I had advert for whatever this is, Game of Thrones King's Road. There you go. I feel like the ads just add to it. I feel like I'm just my corporate overlords are watching this podcast. Sorry, guys. Now on this podcast, let me introduce you to Game of Thrones King's Road. I'm just adding those podcast videos, not videos. What's the word? I just said it. Adverts in without even trying. They're just there. Now sponsored by, except I'm not, sadly. But there's a point in this video where I think, oh my gosh, I've run out of moves, and I just think, right, okay, I'll turn around and go outside, and I do, and my mind is blown. Look, my mind is blown because I didn't think about going outside at all. It puts you in a position where you always think you're to walk inside straight away, and I found this, and I was bewildered. I was shocked. Look at me. Now, maybe this is just my primitive brain, but I didn't even think about going outside, and then there was all this place outside, all these roads to places, and wow. But yeah, so they do kind of play with you a little bit. They want you to work out things, but it definitely does come down to RNG at the end. I think that's the best way to sum up. I think that's the best way to sum up Blueprints. Still very pretty. I like the art style. I like that kind of cel shaded style, the kind of minimalistic style as well. So that they win on that front as well. Okay, so we've done Blueprints. Let's look at Drop Duchy, another roguelite. This one's a little bit different, and this one's got a little bit more skill involved, I'd say, because the idea is you are playing Tetris, but with landscape. And what you're trying to do is trying to build out, and I'm not doing particularly well here, but you're trying to build out fields to improve your troops, and you're trying to build out, there's rivers and there's forest as well. And essentially what you're trying to do at any given point is build up your army so you can take on, where is it at the end? The wall. You're basically taking on a wall. And the more enemies you fight beforehand, the easier this wall is. The less you fight, the harder the wall is at the end, but you might have more troops, you might have more resources, etc. So it's fun because it's very tactical. It's very different to the opposite way, because the opposite game, versus Blueprints, this is a game where everything you do matters a lot. Obviously you do get some RNG on the tiles, but not nearly as much to where it would stop you from progressing. If you're being sensible about how you're playing it, you can definitely get ahead in this. Am I particularly good at it? No, but do I enjoy it? Yeah, I actually really do, and I've picked it up a few times just off stream as well. I don't play... It's funny, I don't play a lot of different games when I'm off stream nowadays, because I try and keep stuff for stream, but this is one that I want to play off stream, definitely, and I really did enjoy it. So it takes a little bit getting used to. Some of the controls, there's a few frustrations with the controls. I was trying to take this, I try to take some tiles back up sometimes, and what it actually does is it just places them down, which is a little frustrating at points, because I'm oh no, I accidentally put the tile in the wrong place. But that's literally it. I can't think of any other frustrations I have with the game. It's fairly light, it doesn't have any story, but the idea is obviously, the idea is you're being trying to defend your lands, essentially. I don't think it needs to be more than that. I don't think every game needs an insane story or insane depth to be fun and enjoyable, and this is definitely one of those games where that's true. Oh, look, here's an advert for Wayfair now. I was sponsored by Wayfair. Yeah, so as you can see, there's different terrains as well, and the different buildings will be based on those. I haven't got super far, but there's definitely like a second region, because you can start getting mountains and stuff as well. And then once you're through there, I don't know what's next, because there's like definitely more, but I haven't got there yet. Maybe like desert or something. Who knows? Who knows? So there is Drop Duchy, and then we've got Prince of Persia. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something crazy here. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek at the episode we did the other day. Oh, members only content. No, I can't because I'm lying. I'm not giving you a sneak peek because I forgot I'm not on my YouTube. I'm on guest profile. So we're going to go for, where is it? There it is. Prince of Persia. So I bought all the Prince of Persia games a while back. I don't know why I impulse bought them all. Probably because I thought, oh, why not? I'll probably play them at some point. Look, well, I am. So I've never played a Prince of Persia game before. This isn't the first one. I know that, but it's one of the earlier ones. And yeah, this game really frustrated me, like insanely frustrated me. I think I'm just gonna be real. I think I'm a gamer who is more accustomed to more modern gaming. And so I struggle when I go back to older games. Not in the least because I'm a graphics hoe, if you will. I try to say that as politely as possible. I'm all about the graphics. So these games, this kind of like older, when the games weren't as great. Why? Jumping is tough. Yeah, jumping is tough. Jumping is tough. So yeah, there we go. There we go, Peralta. You finally got up there. I don't get me wrong, I think it's fun. I think I'm enjoying it. I think I'm enjoying it because it's a late to the party episode. I don't think I'd enjoy it as much if it wasn't, and I killed myself there. Don't think I'd play this. Let me put it this way: I don't think I'd play this, and I think this is true of a lot of the games I play. Actually, I don't think I'd play these games, like a lot of the games I play on late to the party and prior to Game Pass. I don't think I'd have played these games if I hadn't played them for the video. I think they're remaking this. Well, that's what I was doing it for as well, because I'm interested to see this when they're remaking it, because I think it's coming out next year, right? So, like Lynch just said, they're going to be remaking this at some point. I'm kind of interested to see what that turns out like compared to this, but it's nice to kind of have some background in the franchise, I think, beforehand. I never want to look, and this is my thing, so I come to a crossroads very often with gaming, and this is not just Prince of Persia, but this is in general. I never want to look like I'm just like, I'm a tourist in a franchise. If I'm going to try and learn a franchise and like play a game in a franchise, I don't want to be only in it for one game, or not know what's going on in that universe prior, or not know what's going on culturally with those games prior. So I always like to have a little bit of background in them. Maybe not, millions and millions of hours in a game, but I like to know kind of what I'm talking about to a degree. So that's why I played a little bit of this. I did enjoy it. I didn't want to just jump straight to the Prince of Persia that came out like a few years ago. That's the side scroller one, even though that looks amazing, because I just felt I hadn't earned it. And I don't know, maybe that's something that's a little bit weird of me. Maybe I just need to like get over myself. But I just feel like if I'm going to get into a franchise, I should at least try and learn a little bit of it. Like when I played The Witcher, for example, I did try Witcher 1. Now, I couldn't stomach it. We were talking about this, funneling it off the other day on a stream. And we were saying how Witcher 1 is like diabolically bad. Well, not bad, but like jank. And that I gave up on it and I went to 2. I don't know why I dropped off the ledge there. I'm just watching myself do that. I'm like, what are you doing? So I went straight to 2. But I want to always be able to say I did try 1. I always want to say I try my best to try 1. Don't get me wrong, there's some games where I do go in kind of on that remake, like I did with 7. I did with Final Fantasy 7. But that was because a lot of those older games, again, I struggle with. I do struggle with older games. It's just, it sounds very superficial of me, but I do. I like, my attention span just doesn't keep with them the same way. So I think I enjoyed this. I think I probably will go most of the way with it, but we'll see, because like last time, the last episode, let me put it this way, someone came into the stream last episode and cursed me out, saying, what the are you doing? Why are you not wall running? And I'm like, I'm trying, okay? I'm not the best gamer. Like, I've always said this, I've always been honest. I am not the best gamer. The day I try Dark Souls is going to be a cold day in hell, because everything's going to go horrendously wrong. And like, you know, all those types of games, they will happen one day. I will try them one day, but I just want you all to know that it will be absolutely horrendous when I try them, because I've never been an expert gamer. I don't think I'll ever be an expert gamer. My skill cap is very low, and that's just the truth. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being the court jester on the internet. That's fine. That's fine. I'm okay with being here for your laughs. Anyways, that is Prince of Persia. Let's move on to Clair Obscur. Now, I have finished the game, but I don't want to put on an episode that is going to be particularly spoilery, so we'll move a little bit back. Now, I did talk about Clair Obscur last time. Amazon Prime, just advertising itself here. 1 second. Go on, Amazon Prime, do your thing. Yep, Amazon Prime, keep going. How long is this advert? Game of the year? This is the game of the year, in my opinion. My game of the year by far. Like, oh, beautiful, right? So, oh, advert for Primark now. Thanks, Primark. Right. Wild. So, Clair Obscur. We talked about it last time. I was playing it. I'd played a good few hours at that point, but we finished it since. And I need to just talk about this a little bit. The story is really good. It makes you really care for these characters. The ending is brutal in a way that makes you really contemplate not just existence, but morality, and makes you kind of second guess yourself right at the end. You know what you're doing in this Expedition 30, like as Expedition 33, right up until the end, and then you're there. You're able to finish it all. And you've got this horrible choice. And both of the endings are bittersweet. Well, there's one that's definitively the bad one. I actually chose the bad one. If you want to go and watch it, go and watch it. If you haven't already. But I chose the bad one. But like, so stellar in terms of the way they built these characters, the way that they made you feel for these characters. And then they just pull the rug on you. Like, the end of Act 1, and spoilers, of course, going forward, when they kill Gustav, like, wrenching. You just do not expect it at all. Your protagonist, gone. Like, wow. They managed to do a JRPG story without it being a silly, stupid mess. Well, that's true, right? Because you're basically going to kill God. But you do it in a, but like, these characters matter. These characters have depth. These characters mean something to each other as well as to the person playing, right? And then on top of that, they make a combat system that's really in depth. You know, they make a combat system where you can nuke bosses. They make a combat system where they have a character who is essentially like an FF blue mage. He learns abilities by fighting the enemies. There's, you know, you've got the parrying and the blocking that make it feel a lot more rapid than a typical turn-based, but still keeping that true to form turn-based. You know, I've seen so many people say they're not a turn-based lover and they play this game and they absolutely love it. I think you'll see more games trying to emulate this style going forward, if I'm being completely honest. They didn't have the budget for that much Charlie Cox. I do think that's probably true, Lynch. I do probably think that's probably why Gustav died, to a degree, because not that it's the only reason, but I do think they went, oh, right, if we're going to have Gustav die, let's get someone who's a little bit more expensive, because he's only going to be in one third of the game, essentially. What I will say, and one thing I think goes against this game for me, is I think Act 3 was a little too short. I would have split up the game a little bit more evenly so that Act 3 was a little bit longer, because what I ended up doing is, I went back to Lumia at the end of the game, and I kind of knew it was the end of the game, but I thought there'd be maybe a lot of the end of the game, and so I kind of thought, oh, well, there'll probably be another point, and maybe that was stupid of me. There'll probably be another point where I can back out and kind of go back and do all the side stuff, and I didn't. And they kind of warned me. I get that, but I think I would have liked Act 3 to have been a little bit more like, you get a lot of the stuff for SKA right at the end of the game. And I do think I would have liked to have some of that earlier to be able to do, like, to focus on side stuff a little bit earlier. But that's like my main gripe. That's like a very small gripe of the game. And other than that, I mean, the story, excellent. Visuals, stunning. The bosses were really fun and well built. You know, the whimsy of it. I will tell you that still I hate jump puzzles. Never put another jump puzzle in a game. I hate it. But that and the musical score. I was singing the Lumiere song for days. I was going like for days. Like it got stuck in my head. I think a lot of people had the same thing, right? Like, beautiful score. Like, to the point where if they release it on vinyl, I'm definitely going to get it. Like, I'm going to get that. I have to have it. But yeah, I already missed this game. I already want to play more of this game. I kind of think I might go back into the side stuff at some point. But at the same time, when I finish a game, I don't like to go back and do the side stuff because it feels almost pointless at that point, because I always want a little bit of story left to make it feel like in my head I haven't finished the game yet. Going back to bosses for me is something that I struggle with. Fall of Avalon did something similar. In Act 3, it's like, here's all Act 3 side stuff, or just go to the end. I like the option if you've done, you can wrap things up. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think every game that gives you an option to go, hey, you know, this is the end of the game. But I think just to me, Act 1 and Act 2 were of similar length, and then Act 3 was like one quest. And I get why they kind of done that, because actually there was a sort of an epilogue in between that sort of acted as a bit of an Act 3, but it was just they were calling it something different. With other Mayel, I can't remember her name now off the top of my head. Wow, already losing it. But yeah, I know. I don't know. I think sometimes it's hard when you get to the end of a game that you just don't want to go back and circle around and do everything else. Breath of the Wild, best version of that. After the tutorial, you can go fight the final boss. I do like the freedom of that. Don't get me wrong. I think that's cool, right? To have that freedom to be, especially for people who like are speedrunners, or especially for people who want to try and do something creative with the game. But yeah, I think that you should get stuff a little bit earlier. He will kick your ass. Well, I mean, you know, that's what you're that's the whole point, right? You know, but even if they allow you to do it, there's still kind of other things in place. But yeah, I think I'd have liked a little bit more of a progression of like I'd like Hollister, the racing circuit. Anything will be an ad these days. Yeah, I just wanted a little bit more. I just wanted a little bit more of like, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. I wanted, like, SKA got one of his stones straight away, and then you didn't get another stone until like almost 5-6 hours later, and at that point you're basically at the end of Act 2. And then you don't get your third one until basically you're finishing Act 3. Or like starting Act 3. So I would have liked that a little bit more spread out. I think I would have just given SKA almost most of that straight away. Lynch has just picked our next late to the party episode live on the podcast, Breath of the Wild, so I guess I'm going back to that again. Lynch, thank you for that. People are complaining it's stupid you can finish the game in 1 hour. I bet none of them could finish it in 1 hour. Well, exactly, right? If you're capable of that, great, but if you're not capable of that, then it's a little embarrassing. Well, it's not embarrassing, but it's a little embarrassing that you're saying it, you know? But yeah, so I think that's a lot of conversation. I'm just going to skip ahead so you guys can see something else. It's probably going to start an advert. Oh, this is when I was fighting the Abbess. This was like one of the few side content bosses I actually went back and beat. I don't know if I beat it here or not, but I did beat it overall. Yeah, so I think overall, a really good game. Lots right with it. I think it's took the industry by storm, and I'm glad for it. I do think it should win Game of the Year, and I think there's not really... Oh, there's Verso dead. There's not many games that I think can really live up to it currently, just because of its the scenario as well, just because of where it comes from. It comes from like... It's come from essentially obscurity. Like, because no one kind of had this on their radar in the same way that they had other games, and then it came out and like it just absolutely blew everyone away, right? So like I think you'll see this kind of really take the awards by storm, or should at the very least. But we'll see. Oh my gosh, there's me messing up again. So yeah, that's Clair Obscur. Do you know what? I usually say I want a sequel to a game, and even though I wouldn't be angry if they did do a sequel, I think this game stands alone perfectly, and I don't want any more. I don't even want DLC. Don't give me anything. Leave this game as is. Move on to something else. Give us another Project Sandfall. I think this was like a perfect round out for the story. The fact that there's unanswered things, I like that. Don't answer them. Leave it as is. Let us never ever learn the fate of any of these characters beyond what we've already seen, in my opinion. And I very rarely say that. I very, very rarely say that. I'm the type of person who wants like 10 sequels before the game's even released. But in this one, I think it's just a perfect storm, and I think I'd rather just stay as that perfect storm. Yeah, I don't see anything besting it. Death Stranding 2 will do well in the awards, though. I don't think Donkey Kong will have the gravitas. No, I don't think Donkey Kong will have the gravitas either, funnily enough. But we'll see. We'll see if Donkey Kong has the gravitas. We'll see. We believe in Donkey Kong. We believe in Donkey Kong, I'm sure. Right, okay. So that is Clair Obscur. Now we're going to go on to South of Midnight. Let's pick an episode that isn't the finale, so if anyone comes in, they're not getting spoiled. Splitgate 2 is getting a little bit of an advert again. There we go. Right, South of Midnight. This is a game that I finished in about 10 hours. 5 episodes, 10 hours. And I have to say, a really interesting story. Succinct, to the point. It's dealing with grief, trauma, and it does so through the lens of the Deep South. And I think that's I think the Deep South connection in and of itself is like really, really interesting, because you're dealing with a folklore that isn't used much in fiction, isn't used much especially in gaming. And I think kind of really playing out with it is fun. The only thing I can think of that uses anything sort of similar is kind of like in terms of American like folklore is like Fallout 76 did a little bit of it, and that's the only thing that came to my mind a little bit while playing. But I really enjoyed it. The combat reminded me of Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor. I don't know why it did, but it did. And I love that they did claymation kind of style. That really added to the game for me. I think it really made it unique. There's not many games that look like that. There's not many games that feel like that. But even though it was a cute style, and even though it was like really pretty as a game, it didn't hide away from shocking moments like literally the one we're looking at here. You know, a child drowned, you know, and the grief of that, right? So I think this game doesn't shy away until, and this is my one gripe, until the end. It shies away at the end. And don't get me wrong, I think the whole idea of the game is forgiveness, hurt people, get on, move on from that, etc., right? But the end of the game felt like it pulled back some punches. It felt like Bunny, the grandmother, didn't get what she deserved quite as much. And she does it in reality, but you don't see it. It's kind of euphemized at the end. It's kind of like, it draws you back from what's actually happening. You know, you see a lot of cruelty in this game kind of played out, and then the person who's been the most cruel throughout the whole game is given a sort of kind ending. I'm not saying that I'm doing really badly here. Not saying that you should, you know, brutalize your main antagonist, but yeah, I didn't love that. I also didn't love, it was a question that was running through my head at the time, why they changed up kind of villains halfway through. Because, like, how do I put this? So halfway through the game, essentially, you find out that the person you've been chasing, the creature you've been chasing for most of the game, is not actually... Is this music a little bit loud, by the way? It should be okay. You find that the character you've been chasing for half the game isn't who you think that you're chasing, basically. They're not who they're not your enemy, basically. Music is fine, okay. And so because of that, the story meanders and it finds a new villain. But that villain is not really set up fully throughout the beginning of the game. There are hints, but it's not really set up fully, and you kind of go, oh, we're pivoting now, and you like pivot quite wildly, and I still don't understand how. Long story short, Rue and Kushma later in the story, I don't know how they really fit into the overarching narrative until like they kind of basically strong-armed their way in, and suddenly they were the main focus, and it just kind of felt like I don't know where those characters came from necessarily. Not that it wasn't good. I still think it was good. It didn't turn bad because of it, but I felt like you suddenly had a very different vibe to what was going on, and it kind of went from killing Spider Woman, not Spider Woman as in the Marvel character, but killing Spider Woman to killing God, essentially, but like in 2 seconds flat. And I didn't love that. But other than that, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I think it's a really, really cute game. It's got a lot of heartfelt moments. And yeah, I just didn't love the ending as much, but the rest of the game, very fun. Lots of funny moments as well. It doesn't shy away from that. Yeah, I will say as well, musical scoring. This game was as good. Oh, Game of Thrones King's Road again. They love advertising this game, apparently. The musical score in this game, to me, was as influential on me as Clair Obscur's, which we've just talked about. Because I've been singing for days. There's an alligator boss you fight in the game, and he has a whole song, and it's like Two-Toe Tom. And like there's the rest of the song, but I don't know the rest of the words. But all I kept doing for like days was going Two-Toe Tom. Like I couldn't stop saying it. So as influential for me music-wise as Clair Obscur, yeah, great game. I would say I would like this one to have a little bit more. I think this game does deserve a little bit more. I think you could do more with it. I think you could have a sequel that kind of expands it a bit. The issue is I don't think this game did as great on sales as they would have hoped, so that's a little bit of a shame, but you never know. But definitely a fun game, and I think everyone who was watching was enjoying it as well. Going back to Clair Obscur for a second, because I did miss a comment from Lynch. If they do DLC, I want prequel or something going on at the same time as the game, not sequel. Yeah, I think the game ends at a point that's very good, Lynch. I don't want them to kind of revert that. I don't want them to go back on that. I think either ending is definitive to me. I feel like that it's definitive enough. So that is where we're at for games that we've played / completed this month. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching those. I hope you guys have enjoyed my analysis on those. Let me know what you think of those games yourself. And we'll move on now to our news topics. So this is where this is where you're going to see Peralta's Played kind of change, and we're going to just knock the music on the head now because we are going to look at some trailers now. So there's 3 games that I've seen trailers of this month, and I am putting on my list of like games to keep an eye on. We've got Siberia, Mafia, and Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, I'm not a big Grand Theft Auto person. I've tried 5 and I couldn't get away with it. I've tried I played some of the older ones way back. But I think 6 looks graphically stunning, and so I'm going to probably have to give it a try again and maybe try 5 again. Sometimes I just struggle with games on the first pass. But anyway, Siberia. So some of you guys might know Rochelle, Rochelle_PNG, friend of the channel, very great streamer. I watched Rochelle play Siberia, and I didn't want to play it myself because it was a relatively older game, but I watched Rochelle play these, and when I saw that the remaster was happening, I was like, oh my goodness, I can actually try and play this game now. So, let's have a look at this trailer. Let's get the music on for this. Is it on? What do I need to do for that? 1 second, hold up.
Peggy 7.
That's playing. Okay, cool. Right.
There are memories meant to be brought back. Encounters never to be forgotten.
Hello, Kate Walker.
And adventures that should never end.
I actually think it looks really good, personally. I think that it looks stunning there already. And just like that kind of, again, it's that kind of world that you don't get to see often in gaming. It's something that's very relatively picturesque. I have the original on Switch. Did you enjoy it, Lynch? Because like I think it looks great. Tough point and click. Yeah, so I mean, as opposed to this, which looks so much more, you know, it got stuck. Well, so like this, I think this is gonna like really well, and like I just think it looks really pretty. Did she do it without a walkthrough? But Rochelle, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But honestly, I really enjoyed watching it, and so I'm really excited. I want to play this so bad. It gives old-timey feeling. It gives nostalgia, even though I've never played it, and I'm really excited to have a go at that. So that is Siberia. It's coming soon. We don't know when it's going to be, but looks stunning. Looks really cool. I just like the clockwork feel of it as well. Yeah, that one's definitely going to be fun. So we're keeping that on the watch list. Now, next up, we have Mafia: The Old Country. Now, this has been on people's radar for a while, but the trailer kind of showing gameplay, etc., came out this month. And I really liked the Mafia games. I played 1, I played 2, I started 3, I haven't finished it because 3 was a little bit harder. But 1 and 2 were really fun. I played them off stream because the games have, there's a warning that comes up at the beginning of these games saying that they keep to historical accuracy. And that's fine. I think that's true. I think certain games should be kept to historical accuracy. My issue is that there's certain things that I don't personally feel comfortable with streaming. And there, of course, was some kind of, it's hard to describe, but it's very ingrained with like some racial stereotypes, etc., that I kind of didn't feel comfortable with streaming at the time. And so I left those games for myself to play. Now, don't get me wrong, there's obviously other games like GTA, which I just mentioned before, that do kind of use, racial slurs, but like it's not in a context that's as bad. But in these games especially, there was a lot of like racial elements that I feel like was really strong, and kind of I didn't feel comfortable kind of playing those out on stream. Just because I feel like it's not my story, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if maybe I'm being maybe it's too white guilt of me. I don't know. But Mafia: The Old Country, I think, is going to be a little bit different to that. So I'm excited to maybe play this one on stream. I'm going to keep an eye on it, and maybe if it feels right to play it on stream. But let's have a look at this.
Come in.
Bravery is not common in this world, and so loyalty, honor, obedience. They set the man apart from the rest. You took care of Messina, but this matter is not yet resolved. Will you help me bring it to a close?
Of course, Tanto Risi.
So pretty it is. It really is really pretty.
You again.
I think what it gives to me, I know it's a very different look, like it's set in a very different place, but I think stuff like this, these landscapes, make me think of Red Dead. Now, I've only played Red Dead 2 online, not so much the actual games, which I need to rectify at some point. But, what was I going to say? Sorry, I looked at Discord and I threw myself off. I was going to say, I think it looks like that. I think it looks very similar in terms of the world. Lynch threw me off. Lynch sent me a joke, and it threw me off. Oh, right, okay. Yeah. So I think having this kind of Sicily feel and kind of making it old timey, old worldy, and kind of really playing into that with the horses and the stiletto gameplay and all that type of stuff. Yeah, I really like it already. It reminds me of the flashback in 2 where Vito is fighting in the army. I think it's the army, right? And yeah, I like it reminds me of that. I don't know why it reminds me. Well, I do know why it reminds me of that. It's very similar architecture, but yeah, I'm really excited to kind of get into this game. And just like, it just looks so good. And you can pre-order it now, and it's coming out August 8th, which isn't too far away now. So we might be playing this. But yeah, just the cars look great. Because that's always been part of the Mafia games.
Of course.
And then like, just this. Oh my gosh, beautiful. So that's another game on the radar. Now, GTA, as I said before, is not necessarily a game that I go for. Do not pre-order. They're not going to run out. They're not going to run out of copies. I know. Lynch always tells me off for pre-ordering, and then I pre-order. So I'm probably going to pre-order Lynch. I'm sorry. I might pre-order like right at the cusp this time. I'm less avid with it as I used to be. I promise. I wait a lot longer now. Right. So here's the GTA 6 trailer. Trailer 2 apparently. Which also looks stunning, by the way, doesn't it?
I'm just fixing some leaks.
Seriously, dude, you got some time on your hands. I got some properties with paying tenants.
Oh, that's why you came by?
Just go get me my checks.
See you, Brian. Love you, Jason. I'm here for Lucia Caminos. She's supposed to be getting out.
What's your name?
Jason Duval.
I seen you here before.
You might have. Hey.
2035 release date. Here we go. Oh!
Hands above your head, now!
Didn't expect that. Oh! Whoa!
Trust me, this place is just the start for us. Ring the bell! Shot three! The only thing that matters is who you know and what you got.
Gonna do this? We're doing it right.
Yo, D, this full effect? They got your name, address, they got everything.
Us cops, we gotta protect each other.
You and me, bro. We got this.
We got it.
Save my city, baby!
Come to Bill's Ammunition today. We got more guns than a law allows.
Hey.
Hey, if you got friends, can you hook me up, please?
So, do you know what? I was going into that skeptical because, like, I'm not a GTA lover.
Kitchen refresh.
Yeah, kitchen refresh. Good job, B&Q. I'm not a GTA. Oh, why is it changed videos? I'm not a big GTA lover, but I kind of like the Bonnie and Clyde angle here. I think that's kind of interesting. I think that's a really fun. Have they done that before in GTA? I don't think they have, right? If so, I like that's kind of a really cool angle for me, and I think I could be interested in that. I think it's like cool to have this kind of these two people who are going up for the crime industry as a kind of pair. You know, it's normally one character. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of it being like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of deal. Yeah, so maybe I can be swayed by, except GTA 5, which had 3. Yeah, I was aware of that. Yeah, but so I kind of like this angle. I kind of like the vibe there, and also just it looks stunning, right? Like this visually is very well done. That was a very bad shot to pick, but like look at that. This is all in-game footage as well, right? Like I know some of it'll be cutscenes, but like it's all in-game footage. Oops. But yeah. Hey Peralta, getting hyped for some GTA. We're looking through some trailers currently. Accursed, welcome in. How are you doing? I'm glad you came in now because we were just discussing Clair Obscur a few minutes ago, Accursed, and we would have spoiled you. But yeah, so GTA definitely looking good there. That's not something I'm usually a fan of, but definitely it looks like it could be.
Hey, Brian.
Looks like it could be fun. Like looks like it's got really well. Look at that. Insane. Doing good, yep. Good timing. You're always good timing. Always good timing. So that is sort of the end of the trailers segment of the episode. Let's hop over to 1 second. Let's just disable that 1 second. Just scroll on down and get rid of that. And move me over like that. Would you look at that? Look at that. Skill and quick thinking from Peralta there. Okay, right, so I really enjoyed San Andreas. GTA 5 was pretty good too. They do a good job of their big games. To be fair, I've never really stuck with a GTA before because I don't really love that kind of franchise. But that one looks a lot more interesting to me because I just feel like the Bonnie and Clyde dynamic is going to be like really fun. It's something that I don't really think has been done really in gaming. But maybe that's just me. Anywho, next up, we're going to have a few discussion points that I want to talk about. Kind of news from the month. So, first off, Marvel Rivals just got its update. In fact, I can actually... You know what? 1 second. Hold up. We're going back. We're moving back. Because I can show you Marvel Rivals' new update. Marvel Rivals just got its new update. And we have some Ultron gameplay. Where am I at? Where's my Ultron gameplay? Here we go. And I have to say, I actually really enjoy Ultron. People are saying he's underpowered. I'm actually really enjoying him. I got like 6 MVPs with him already. I feel pretty strong with him, actually, and I feel like I'm doing as much healing with as the enemy team and my other allies, my other healer allies. There's me taking down Storm. Look at this. Get Iron Man. Yeah, look at that. So I'm really enjoying him. I think some of the changes to the other characters I haven't managed to play out yet just yet, but I'm really excited to play more soon. Me and Tater were playing yesterday, and yeah, the new map's really gorgeous as well, Araco, and they're going to be releasing their auto chest mode next week, which is going to be fun. I have a video all about what's coming to Rival, so if you want to watch that one as well, there is that one as well, which is not that one. 2.5 Ultron and more, that one. If you want to know what's going on, there's a few extra rewards this half season. They've got a combat chest as well, which is like it's like a new reward track that you can get some non-premium and premium items from, so that's great as well. So that's that. Now, one thing that I'm not super happy about, Marvel Rise of Hydra. So let's get a video up for this. Rise of Hydra. Where are we at? Rise of Hydra. So this game, which looks to be amazing, by the way, looks gorgeous. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra has been delayed till next year. I think it's early next year. Now, personally, it probably works out better for me because I've got a lot of games still to play. But I was really looking forward to playing as Cap and Black Panther in this. It's Azuri in this, I think it is. Really was looking forward to this, so I'm a little bit of a shame it's pushed back, but if they're going to make this game better, then I'm definitely hype about it. It just looks like such an interesting concept, right? These two characters kind of meeting up during the World War, learning a little bit more about vibranium kind of politics during that era, and just, I mean, they look amazing. Just like there's this part where they're like having a confrontation on this bridge here. Like, look at how this looks like a movie, like literal movie level detail. Like, look at that. So I'm really excited for this game. Obviously, like I say, it has been delayed, so that's a bit of a shame, but still looking forward to it. Going to be coming out 2026 now. The reason I brought this up as well is because there was a Black Panther game being worked on by EA, and guess what? That's been cancelled. Which is a real shame because we've got some details on the game and you'd be able to play as T'Challa, Shuri, and Killmonger, all vying for the title of Black Panther. And the main enemies were Skrulls, and they were developing something similar to the Nemesis system, an evolution of it, something that they could use without probably being getting their asses sued. And sadly, they've cancelled it. So it sounded like a really cool game. You'd have probably even seen the Fantastic Four show up at some point if they were dealing with the Skrulls. But that game's gone now. That game's not happening now. The studio's been shut down even. It's not just the game's cancelled, the studio's been shut down. So that's a big shame, if I'm being honest. But they're still making the Iron Man game, apparently, EA. So we'll see how that one goes when that finally comes to fruition. But yeah, so one Black Panther game moved back, another Black Panther game cancelled. That's a shame, but we'll see how it goes with this one, 1943. When that comes out, I will be playing that almost assuredly day one. Now, AI Darth Vader is something I want to bring up next. AI Darth Vader Fortnite. Let's see if we can find something that isn't. See if we can find a little footage of this. Let's play a little bit of this just to... Hopefully there's nothing too inappropriate, but...
This John Pork, is he the goat now, Doomslayer? You speak of a goat as if it holds strategic value. Do I need to vaporize another sign? Bombardilo crocodilo, bailarina capuchina, e por fim, tralaleiro, tralala. Ah, e tenho tum 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 sahur. Are these Sith incantations I am unaware of? Show the others what a family guy can do. These skibidi toilets. Are they some new form of rebel alliance? I trust they pose no threat to our mission, apprentice. Aura farming. Are you suggesting I concern myself with trivial aesthetics while our enemies prepare for...
So, it's all funny on the surface, and don't get me wrong, have I laughed at some of these interactions, the ones that aren't racist, sexist, etc.? Yeah, I have. My issue is, I don't think James Earl Jones wanted this. I don't think he sold his voice to Disney for this. I don't think he said, yeah, you can use my voice after I'm gone for this. I think he meant, if you need it for a Star Wars show, go ahead. I trust you guys to make some good dialogue with it. I don't think they wanted this. I don't think James Earl Jones's estate will be happy with this. I don't think I would be, at the very least. And more importantly, I think it's a real slippery slope. I think it's a real slippery slope. Because if this can happen with such a big actor, to where, and the lucky thing with this one is, and it's sad to say, he's dead. So people know he is not saying this because he is gone. He's not alive anymore. Also, because through a character who wears a mask, it's not as bad. But people, let me put it this way, people can watch a soap opera and think the villain of a soap opera is so bad that they'll cuss them out on the street. Do not tell me that people won't see AI things and say something very similar or cause people's lives to go amiss because of this, go awry. This is so dangerous, and we all find it funny, and it is funny, right? It is funny, but it's about putting constraints on stuff like this. And the thing is, it's hard. I find it funny, but I know what this can create. We all know what this can create. I think we need to be very careful. That's my opinion on that. So that's my opinion on AI Darth Vader. Something I wanted to bring up. I think we need to be really careful. I think Fortnite made a very bad move here. I get that it's funny. I get that it's enjoyable. I get that they were trying to do something quirky. And does it advance, technology in a way? Yeah, it kind of does. But is it the way we want to advance art? And I don't think we're advancing art when we do this. I don't think we're advancing, especially when, Ashley Birch comes out a few months back talking about how they did a version of Aloy that was AI without her. And in the game that talks about being careful of AI, by the way, it gets so messy, and I think we really need to be careful of this. And I can't say much on the back end of it. I can't say much about how invasive this is, really, but what I can say is, from an artist point of view, from someone who wants to write one day, to see that they're even now, and this is slightly off Darth Vader, but to see that they're even now able to make people look like they're making content. You can basically fake a video for YouTube. You can not deep fake, but you can deep fake, but you can essentially ask AI to make a YouTube video at this point. We're getting to a very dangerous point, and it just feels like everything art-wise is just being commodified and sloppified, let's put it as, for the sake of funny. And I think funny doesn't justify it, in my opinion. So I don't know. I struggle with it because I see people using AI in very funny ways and very interesting ways, but there has to be a point where it stops. And I don't know if it's maybe like something like AI can be used for personal use in these funny ways, so long as it's not monetized, or so long as it's not, like, I feel like there needs to be some kind of, I think these content creation platforms and stuff like that need to really take a look at AI and say, how are we going to handle this? Are we going to allow AI slop? Because it even invaded the art. I mean, that was one of the first ones, right? It invaded the art world very quickly, and people have AI profile pictures and like I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard. It does feel like you're kind of invalidating whole sets of artists and saying that putting a prompt into ChatGPT or into any other AI is as hard work or is more beneficial than actual art, and that riles me on so many levels. So that's worth saying, I think. Now here's another one, Borderlands 4. I'm going to put up the trailer while we do this. Borderlands 4. Let's put the gameplay trailer on. Oh, is it going to load? Going to load? What's happening here? Sign in to confirm your age. Okay. How about no? Can't. Can I do this one?
The Phoenician Scheme.
There we go. The Phoenician Scheme. There you go. The next thing to be promoted on my on my podcast here. Oh gosh. Okay. Any second now. Oh, after eBay's advert as well. Adverts everywhere, man. Okay. So, well, I'm not playing this for the actual game, just to clarify. I'm not playing this for the actual game. I want to talk about this guy. Because, do you know what this guy said? He said, about a week or so ago, that it's not his call at what the game will be priced at. Make it happen if you're a fan, essentially. What was the exact quote? 1 second, let me get it. I want to be accurate. Randy Pitchford, real fan comment. If you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. Basically, he's saying, regardless of the price we put on it, if you're a real fan, you'll buy it at that price. And do you know what? It's not even the fact that of a high price tag. I think it's the opposite, right? It's the fact that you're assuming How to Train Your Dragon. Brilliant. This is exactly what I wanted. This is wild. Stop with the adverts, YouTube. I just watched one. I just watched one. 2, actually. Thank you very much. Now Nintendo Switch. Brilliant. I'm sure all 3 fans of the Borderlands franchise will make it happen. That's not the point, though. It's not about the game itself, because I'm not a big Borderlands fan. I've played maybe 2 hours of Borderlands 1, and I will go back to it eventually. But what's frustrating to me is that this is like it's the opposite coin of what we just talked about. These developers think that we're a commodity to them. No, we decide what we're going to buy. If you price your game too high, and you think that you can just do that because of your staying power, then no, like that will not happen. And so I think it's a really improper comment to make to your community. The Borderlands Fantasy spin-off is free on Epic at the moment, actually. There you go, guys. If you go and get it, go and get Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Is that the one? But yeah, I think it's a very bad comment to make in a world where we're very money scarce as is, but a lot of people are struggling. You know, we're you know, well, you know, the American situation at the moment, etc. So there's a lot going on in the world currently, and to say that and to be unsympathetic to the fact that people might not be able to pay the price of your game is horrible. I get that it's not his call. I get that there's other players like things in play. I get there's a lot that goes into games these days, and the games are more expensive to make, so they're more expensive to sell. But at the same time, there's other games that are coming out that are still affordable pricing. And if you're going to make a game, you know, incredibly pricey, then make it worthwhile, or say, yeah, this is the price we've needed to put it at to make this game the best we can make it. And you can be somewhat apologetic of that, and people will be a lot more appreciative of that. And the music's changed to something a little bit too upbeat. 1 second. I'm just going to circle back. I should make a playlist just for this. But yeah, I think it's it's an impure taste comment, and it just reminds me of when they made Diablo Immortal. Do you remember the phone game that they made? And then on stage, because everyone was booing the guy, he just went, "You all have phones, don't you? You all have mobile phones, don't you?" It just gives that to me. It just gives you're so out of touch with your player base. It's so it's so egotistical of you to think that people are just going to buy your game because they're real fans. No, you have to work. You don't have a monopoly. Business schools. That's what we're going to call them. Yeah, business schools. We don't like them. We don't like them. And yeah, that's where I'm at with that one. So that's another one off the list of things to gripe about this month. And that is sort of it. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I've really enjoyed this. Let's go back to Peralta's Players. Let's go back to my channel. And to finish off, I'll give you guys my year-to-date channel trailer. I hope you guys enjoy. To Peralta's Place, the only stream where you can listen to Mambo number 5 all day, every day, 24/7 Mambo number 5. Not one time, not 2 times, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, all day long Mambo. Oh yeah, next up, Mambo number 5. I hate physics, I've decided. Oh, not this again. We're gonna go comp now and everything.
Are we?
Yeah. This could count as an outfit. Bork, bork, bork.
You've got to have a tank of good ale, right?
This is getting dangerous. Oh my! Are you kidding? Now I can pretend to be a fascist. Look, that was a pure mistake. This isn't meant to be hard. You can tell from the way they've done it. Fuck! Oh, right, guys. That is the end of the first live episode of Peralta's Played podcast. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I think I feel like it's a little rough around the edges still, but it is the first episode. I'll kind of innovate on it. I think in the end it kind of turned out pretty fun. Let me know what you guys think. If you've got any advice, anything that you would change, anything you'd add, anything you'd put a twist on, let me know. But yeah, that is the end of the Peralta's Play podcast for this week. We like it rough. Stop, Lynch. Stop. For this month. And we'll be back next month to discuss all the topics from that month. Which month is it next? January, February, March, April, May, June. June. We'll be back at the end of June to discuss June. Bye, guys.